Hey there, it's always a good day to make money easy, so let's get at it. Today we're going to talk about making predictions about costs primarily so that we can forecast what our costs might look like and help us make decisions about the future. Anytime we're able to predict something like this guy, I would definitely stay away from if that was the prediction for him. Or if we're looking at weather forecasts or predictions, we can make decisions about the future, what we're going to wear, what kind of predictions they have will determine what kind of decisions we make and how we act in the future based on historical data. So let's get into this when looking at cost predictions. The high-low method is the method that we're going to really focus on when we talk about predicting costs. We have two types of costs: fixed costs, represented here in our total cost equation, and then variable costs represented here in our total cost equation. The variable costs, the total variable costs, really take into account our variable cost per unit times the unit amount or the activity level. When we use the high-low method, we have to pick the one activity, which we call the activity driver, that we believe is most indicative of driving the cost to happen. So we may be wrong the first time around, but we make our best guess and we make adjustments moving forward. The process of doing high-low method is really 3 steps. First step is finding in our range of historical data, finding what the high cost period is and the low cost period is, taking those costs and the activity levels associated with them, and using this formula that you see right here. The high cost minus the low cost divided by the activity level from the high cost minus the activity level from the low cost. Once we do this calculation, that gives us our variable cost. Then we go ahead and we find our fixed cost, because really what we need to find is our variable cost and our fixed cost in order to have a cost equation that we can use. So to do that, we plug in our low total cost and our low activity level from up above here, and we join that with our variable cost, and that gives us our fixed cost. We can solve for X and find our fixed cost there. After we do that, now we have both our variable cost and our fixed cost once we plug those in, and we end up being able to have a total cost that we can solve for if we are given the activity level of X month or X year or X quarter, whatever the time frame might be. So we plug that fixed cost in and the variable cost, and then we're given an activity level and we can solve for the total cost. Let's see how that works in a problem. If I have a set of historical data here, let's say I'm a company that sells and delivers plants, and these are a bunch of months of historical data. I'm going to go and first thing I'm going to find is my low activity level, which is here February, with an activity level of 10. And then I'm going to find my high activity level, which is right here in May, and that has an associated cost with it as well. I'm going to take those two sets of data and I'm going to plug it into my formula. Here's my high cost and my low cost, and my high activity level and my low activity level, and I end up getting $11 for my variable cost. Then I take that $11, I plug it in here, and I grab my 650 from my low month and my 10 deliveries from my low month to find out my fixed cost. Once I solve for X there, getting $540 as a fixed cost, now I can put that into my actual cost equation, and I can say, okay, whatever the activity level is times 11 plus $540 is going to give me my total cost. And that really does a nice job setting us up to be able to predict costs based on activity from our activity driver. So let's say we have 38 plants that we've delivered during the month or the time frame that we're working with, and we want to predict what our total cost is going to be from all those deliveries. We can very nicely just take that 38, plug that into our cost equation that we got from using the high-low method, and then end up with a $958 total cost prediction. Remember, it's just a prediction. We're forecasting. We're probably never going to be spot on down to the penny, but it gives us a good idea so that we can make decisions moving forward, financial decisions moving forward, based on that $958 number. Now, let's say we had 99 plants that we delivered. So we take that 99 number and we look at that formula. However, when we look at that formula, what we need to keep in mind is that we used a set of data over here that ranged from 10 on the low end to 70 on the high end. So we could take that $99, plug it into the equation, and make a prediction, but it would not be an accurate enough prediction for us to really make financial decisions moving forward that we can feel sound and comfortable with. So the activity level has to fall inside the relevant range. If it doesn't fall inside the relevant range, then we're not really going to be able to make a great prediction that gives us the confidence to move forward with making financial decisions. Hope this is helpful, and thanks for joining for Making Money Easy. Hope this is helpful.